Okay. Second try we got there. Second try we got there, gang. That works. We'll take second try. And then... I need that. I hope that updated successfully. I'm gonna pray it did. Alright, everybody. As is typical, we are gonna give the roasties a few minutes to arrive, and then we're gonna try to move at a pretty sprightly pace through the decks. Not cutting anything short, of course, just a little bit less stupid vamping than normal, in the interest of getting you guys some tight clips after the fact. So I'm going to pull up the deck roasting stream. Today is the 26th. I do have a couple people up in here. I know Azami's list needed to be changed. Let's see, Kusar. Homemade Calamity. Oh, and then there was the second Alaran deck, which I have taken out. Perfect. Azami32, thank you for the Twitch follow. I presume you are the Azami in question for the first roast of the day. I'm looking at... I do have your email with the updated primer. We're going to look through some random stuff right at the beginning, just to sort of give your... I want an audience when we destroy you. I want you to be dismantled in front of a crowd. Well, Elise, what's up? Troper, good to see you, my friend. Requiem, welcome to the fucking show. So, guys, for the initial vamping stage, let's take a look at my Is It Phoenix deck list that I'm going to be playing tomorrow at my first RCQ. I've been... Oh, this is also a good time. Move over the camera, move over the chat box, make sure we're playing nice with Moxfield. So I'm going to be competing at an RCQ tomorrow, and I'm playing Is It Phoenix. The only difference I have to this list is that the person who's lending me the Phoenix list only has 3 Ledger Shredders instead of 4, and so I'm getting a Thing in the Ice instead of this 4th Ledger Shredder. But I've practiced the list a little bit with our friendly neighborhood moderator Bean, and I feel really good about it. Chris Gia, welcome to the weekend as well. I am sorry that you need it, but I'm glad that you have it. How was your week, my friend? Calamity, you did make it. You're also up today, if my memory serves. So let me get the order for everybody. Today we have Azami, then Exalted Requiem, then Wois, then Calamity, then Kusar, then Helman, and then Ugity Wuggy. Which is Ugity Wuggy. I'm going to save this for when we get there, but I love the political super PAC that's sponsoring Ugity Wuggy. Acid Tabs boy, what's up, man? First time streamer here. Love your YouTube content. Well, thank you so much, Acid Tabs. I'm going to be doing a lot more YouTube content, basically. I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but the TikTok ban has gone through. It's probably going to get fought in court for at least a little while, but they're passing it to Biden associated with military funding, and so they're probably not going to stop it at any point. That will not stop me from making content, but it does mean that while I was already leaning towards YouTube being the primary platform I operated on, it is now for surezies the primary platform I'm going to be operating on. Let's also see if my OBS is not populating correctly, so I do want to make sure that everything is working right. Alright, it is working right. Lalulelo, thank you for the tier 1 Twitch sub. Welcome to the dog home, my friend. I appreciate your generosity. Harbahal, we do have almost all of my almost all of my TikTok videos backed up. Because I don't know if you guys have seen, there've been some edited reposts trying to get the TikTok roasts that were over a minute to under a minute to post them as YouTube shorts. And oh, that's closer than a... Oh no, so is it La Lilu Lelo? I was looking at a compiler which took the capitals out. And so it looked like you had L-A-L-L, but it looks on the non-compiler like it's L-A-L-I. I find it funny that TikTok is also banned in China. True. Listen, I'm not gonna say it's a great app to spend most of your time on. It's a funny app though. It's a funny time. Pesky Pineapple, just want you to know I got a nosebleed as soon as you pulled up Is It Phoenix? Get used to it. I'm about to become... You guys, RCQ season is starting, and I'm about to become the world's premier Is It Phoenix player. Requiem, well, Exalted Requiem, thank you for exalting my stream with a tier 1 Twitch sub. Welcome to the dog home, my friend. Aberrant Tree, you don't have to miss them. They're still on YouTube. They're going to be on Instagram. So none of the stuff is going to stop at any point. It's just going to be whether it's hosted primarily on what thing it's like primarily hosted on. And then let me pull this up. Okay. I also, one thing I hate so much is that all the people that I'm going to the RCQ with, which I'm going in paper, the 3 of them are all running things that just shoot Is It Phoenix square in the dick. Just instantly and ferociously. It shoots Is It Phoenix square in the dick. I'm playing against, one of the guys is a Lotus Field player, which... is typically called entirely unwinnable for Is It Phoenix. And the other one is a Merfolk player, which the internet says beats or is beaten by Is It Phoenix, and he says he wins. And he's better at the game than me. And the third one is Mono Black Waste Knot. So they're just going to make me dump both my Phoenix and then everything else that I want in my hand. I have what I call Commander Brain Rot because I saw Ashiok and immediately went, that's not an Is It color identity. I did the same thing when I saw this list because I had seen Is It Phoenix lists before and I hadn't seen Ashiok in them before, and I saw Ashiok in this one and I was like, that's illegal. You're breaking the law. But I do really like this list. The Ashiok Dream Render is definitely a trauma response to Amalia combo decks because you just spend 5 turns boofing their graveyard over and over and over. But I really like it. This list does beat Amalia combo, which is typically... I think Amalia combo is... Oh, there's lag on Twitch? That's not good. Hold on, y'all. If it's lagging on Twitch, we may need to like close down and pop the stream back open real fast, just to make sure that we're not fucking up. You don't notice any lag? All right, maybe Calamity's just smoking crack. Just a little bit, not you know, not an unreasonable amount. Have they tried refreshing? Yeah, hold on, Calamity. Have you considered that you're the problem? That you're the problem? That you sound hysterical? And that we can talk about this after you have calmed down? Okay. Other people aren't seeing lag. Alright. Not to gaslight Calamity, but could everybody light some gas around Calamity? We're going to pop a lozenge. And then we're going to get ready for this first deck roast, which is from Azami, who I believe is still... We're rocking with Azami because Azami's rocking with us. And I'm going to pull it from the email because it got updated. Highway to Hell. Before I even read the primer, 2 things that poke out to me that distress me is that the first card is Prismatic Bridge. The price is $1,800. 35 lands is okay, though. Ugity's last by Wolf Energy. So check in like 60 to 90 minutes. Ugity's going last today. Which is, they're going last, they're going 7th. So probably around 6:30. Thank you, Bywolf. So immediately, this commander disgusts me. The price tag disgusts me. I'm assuming this is all in lands. I'm assuming all of this is in lands because that's how 5-color rocks. But let's read the primer. So basically, I like playing big, scary, somewhat inefficient cards. Immediately, this is a goddamn lie. If you are playing the Prismatic Bridge. Nothing, it can't be inefficient if it's free. Right? Nobody would be like, oh, I got a Big Mac from McDonald's. It's not very efficient in terms of dollars per calorie. Well, how much did you pay for it? I paid $0 for it because I stabbed the cashier and took one. Efficiency does not enter... It does not enter the picture when you are paying $0 for anything. That's infinite dollars. Yeah, your efficiency is infinity. The general game plan is to hold the table at bay using counter magic and removal while I build up a large mana base using a combination of mana dorks, rocks, land ramp. At that point I play big things and try to protect them until I can swing for lethal. That's not the only way I can win. I can do some other funny things late game. I don't love infinites, I just don't find them that fun to play. 1 point. That said, I'm not avoiding them, meaning if I like the cards in the combo independently, they can go in the deck. It's fair enough. But I'm not looking for them as game enders. Then I expect no tutors. Lastly, a quick anecdote on the tags. Lots of stuff fits in multiple categories. I just put them where I think they fit best since I built the categories physically. E.g., Atraxa fits in Lil Guys, a goddamn lie, and Card Advantage. I'm assuming that's even bigger Atraxa, which makes the first half of that statement even more of a lie. Do we want to suggest improvements? Yes, go for it. Got it. Claire Epo, thank you very much for the Twitch follow. Welcome to Doghouse, my friend. So let's just look at the deck. And let's enable some tags. Where is my tags button at? Fuck that thing. Alright, immediately 2 points for the name. Immediately 2 points for the names. Low guys. Oh, okay. It's highly ironic, except for fucking Bowmasters. You were so close. You were so exactly close to having the funniest grouping of little guys possible until we just dumped in the put it in everything. Until we dumped in the this is my power level 8 list. Big red buttons, Psych Rift, Farewell, Ruinous Ultimatum, Shadow Spear. If you think this is okay. This is our first trauma response only because it's tagged as a big red button. If turning off Hexproof and Indestructible is considered a big red button at your table, it means you are playing against the most downtrodden, spirit-broken Voltron player I have ever met. Like, this is only the big red button against that one deck we saw that runs 17 protection spells. Against everything else, this is, hey, general synergy piece. Hey, isn't that cool? We have another board wipe. So that's, and then Ugin. Oh, I guess that is a board wipe. Then Card Advantage. Yeah, Grand Unifier. Bolus's Citadel. This is seeming more and more like a list of, hey, wow, isn't this stuff good? Isn't this stuff cool? Tefyri, the Great Henge, the One Ring. Fancy Lands, for sure. Okay, Vampiric Tutor, so already one. Enlightened Tutor, already two. Demonic Tutor, already one. Time Warp. Smothering Tithe. Another Tutor. an extra turn beater, spark double, another Teferi. I love these names. Every point you are earning is coming from your naming schemes, and every point you are losing is coming from what is inside the naming schemes. Mirari's Wake, Klauth, Druid, another Teferi, Grand Abolisher. You have very little protection, but you're running an enchantment commander, so I do understand that. And then 9 pieces of interaction. So the interaction is not overbearing, and I appreciate that. I've seen a lot of bridge players who just think, okay, well, if I'm for sure getting a good thing out every turn, I can just bring like 30 pieces of interaction. And I appreciate you for not going for that. I appreciate you less for these 0 mana rocks. Bloom Tender's fucked up in this deck, for sure. And then we have a million good lands. So, primarily, this to me looks like a deck that was built by going to EDH Rec, going to like the top 5 most popular cards in every conceivable color combination and just throwing a fucking dart and being like, that one. Because if we look at what you have in mono white, we have Enlightened Tutor, Smothering Tithe, Farewell, Swords to Plowshares, Path to Exile, and Grand Abolisher. If anyone was going to make a single, like, you could ask 1,000 people what commander is running those 5 cards, you would get 1,000 different answers. Same thing for mono blue. We have an extra turn spell, a copy effect, a Teferi, some counter spells, and then Hullbreaker Horror and Psych Rift. We don't know a goddamn thing. We don't know a goddamn thing about anything. And then if we go to black, it's more the same. It's Tutors, Orcish Bowmasters. Multicolor stuff, maybe the Nicol Boluses give you a little bit, but for the most part, the personality of this deck is good. My things are good. And if we return to the primer, somewhat inefficient. I would like us to reflect. I would like us to reflect on the descriptor somewhat inefficient about a Tali Primal Conqueror. About Kozilek, Butcher of Truth. The 12/12 with Annihilator 4 you will be playing for free. Or is this permanence only? Creature or Planeswalker? Ah, yes. The known card inefficiencies. Atraxa Grand Unifier and Bolus's Citadel. This was like... This is God's greediest cube draft in a deck. That doesn't mean it's bad. It only means that you are absolutely gaslighting when you say, I'm playing somewhat inefficient cards. If you told me this is my Prismatic Bridge deck, don't worry, I'm just flopping out inefficient cards, and then you flip Teferi who slows the sunset or Nyxbloom Ancient, I'm flipping my lid. We're going from here on the hairline, we're losing half the ground there. Like, what I would love is I think we need a more dedicated theme than whatever your conception of large inefficient cards is. And this is a problem that most people have, where if you tell somebody to limit their deck by picking cards that are inefficient in some way or not optimal in some way. Not optimal speaks to everybody else differently, and so you will end up with wildly different definitions of what is optimal and what is suboptimal, because to many people this is still suboptimal. You could do a lot more. You do a lot more to create combos in the Prismatic Bridge. So in some ways, the deck as a whole is inefficient. However, Every single card you flip out of here will make me mad as shit. You cannot tell me this is my goofy, this is my deck of goofy little guys, and then flip a Hullbreaker Horror soft lock onto me. Famously inefficient card. Free counter spells. At this point, I am shocked that you do not have Force of Will in here. These cards have no synergy. Clearly it's bad. Yes, clearly, because my two kaijus do not fit together like perfect little Lego pieces, I have made an inefficient deck. So my suggestion for upgrades is not necessarily upgrades. It would be to find a thing that resonates with you. Find a thing that resonates with you and use that as your rubric for what creates inefficiencies within the deck. So you could say, like, I'm only gonna do dinosaurs, and you can tell yourself, like, and you can force yourself to be like, I'm gonna put 25 dinosaurs in this deck, and at some point you'll have to pick inefficient dinosaurs to fill that out. Or you could do things of like mommies only, right? Or bald men only, if you really want to keep the Teferis. Like, you gotta pick something random and meaningless, and then tell yourself, I'm allowed to pick the best cards possible to fit this silly whatever specific and completely arbitrary characterization I'm giving the deck. Because this is for real a chat GPT list. I cannot identify a cohesive theme of this deck other than me when I kick you in the head until you die. You have done a good job of that. You have picked things that help that and incentivize that. So good job there. But I would, oh boy. So I can't even suggest cuts from right now because really what you want to do is pick like 5 to 10 of these permanents that you actually want to keep and define a theme around them, and then cut everything else and start over. That said, I did misspeak. I do think this is a 7. I don't see Dockside and I don't see Rhystic Study. That's my bad, Goat. That's my fault. I should have thought before I spoke. There's no Mystic Remora either, so this might even be a 6. This might be... I don't know if this could keep up with precons. Oh yeah, and you're searching for basic lands? Never mind. You're good. This is 5-color bad stuff. So that's what I got for this deck. You've definitely picked some good cards for it, but I would say most of what you've picked is... Here's a really good card. What no infinites does to a motherfucker. Yeah, like... My sibling and Adonalcium, get some goddamn infinites rather than this shit. Yeah, I would definitely go for pick a totally arbitrary, goofy theme, lean hard to that, and that is what will make the deck worse. And then if you want the deck to be better, then you can really crank it up. I feel like this is right now in the middle, where you're trying to make it good enough to keep up with the stronger decks, but act like, because it's not cohesive, it's silly enough to play in a more relaxed manner. And I do not think that part is true. I think this is good enough to keep up with the stronger decks, and I think you would benefit from just having 2 different prismatic bridge decks. I think you would benefit from having one that goes hard as hell and has synergies, and I think you would benefit from one that has a totally arbitrary theme that it sticks to and forces itself to pick truly bad cards. Because among this deck, probably the worst card you have is Klauth Unrivaled Ancient. And even that is good in this deck. And that's probably the worst creature you have. So with that said, Tari and Al, thank you for the tier 1 Twitch sub. Welcome back to the dog home, my friend. And Dade, thank you for gifting 5 community subs. Welcome to dog heaven, my friend. The Grey Lord of Grain, I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for coming by the stream. We are doing our Patreon deck roasting stream. Anybody that's interested, Aloe Dan. Okay, thank you, Dade. We're going to be moving on to our second deck, which is Exalted Requiem. The primer says yes. Aloe Dawn. Okay, Aloe Dawn. Holy shit! $12,000 in this economy? Maelstrom Wanderer, Maelstrom of Shiny Things, my son, my only child. This deck, I swear to God, you better come correct. So, immediately, I see no basics, Bling-O-Meter 97%. I mean, this has to be proxied, which I respect, or we have to have a serious talk. I'm certain this all came off of our good friends at npcphil.com. Yeah, me when my deck is sponsored by HP. Alright, so Maelstrom Wanderer, if you have not met this bastard, it is Cascade twice for 8, which is pretty good. Chinese, French. Alright, so these are just the printings, I guess. Or what on earth? What type of racism is going on here? Needs replaced because Nielsen. Maybe this is like a problematic artist or something. The primer has more info. The primer I got from you in the Google form is yes. I don't know if it was like a copy paste error. Okay, Nielsen is a problematic artist. Well, that's a good call out. Cassius38, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime sub. And Sarah the Sphinx, thank you as well. Welcome both of you to the dog home. Okay. So Coalition Relic, Fart Mana, Craterhoof Behemoth, Fart in somebody's chest, Shakashima. Got it. Deck primer to the left. Oh, got it. This is a deck I own in paper. Every card is updated to the correct actual printing in the deck. Holy fuck. Disable tags. They're only used to label non-English languages and the specific cards I need to replace because Therese Nielsen. Based as hell. This deck started as 99 permanents and Primal Surge meme deck. I have spent 15 years upgrading it. And now it exists to be a degenerate combo pile and a monument to my lack of morals and financial restraint. Asterisk. That said, it still has quite a few cards that are relics of my time, and I realize that. And yes, at this point, new cards are only considered once I find a foil. Why I'm not finding Gaia's Cradle. That's crazy as fuck. That is absolutely insane. Alright, so Coalition Relic, that's fine. Copying, that's fine. Oh, we will undo the tags here. If I remember how to undo. We'll just do type. Maybe let's change it to visual stacks. Yeah, that looks fun. Animar, that's fucked up. Avenger of Zendikar, totally fucked up. Coiling Oracle, a little bit of ramp. Craterhoof, Deadeye Navigator. Oh yeah, why on earth would you need to flicker? Kusar, you are 5th. We're on deck number 2. Dockside, alright, so we're not a 7. Understood. Displacer Kitten So fucking Flicker Maelstrom Wanderer deck. I'm gonna piss. A 6 mana counter spell. This is hateful. This is fucking hateful. This has to be one of the relics of your time, because first it's 59 cents. Draining Welk is so good. I mean, I realize you get 1/1 counters, but like, I feel like you're standing around all day. I won games with Welk. Me when I recency bias. If I win a game with goddamn like a 1-drop, it does not make the 1-drop good. Oh wait, why does Flickering Wanderer do anything? It doesn't. I'm stupid. There's probably something else they can flicker that's useful. Like Craterhoof is useful to flicker, Zendikar is useful to flicker, Animar's not. Kiki Jiki is useful to flicker. Oh Jesus, you can cast from exile, so is there a food chain? Is there a food chain payoff? When you flicker Wanderer, you can command zone it. Oh, so once you have 1,000,000 mana, you just flicker it out. Got it. Jin Gataxis is good. Fierce Empath comes into play. Search for a big old butthole, which you have 1,000,000 of, so that makes sense to me. Oh, Momir Vig is funny. Mole Drifter. Draw 2. I love $13,000. 15 years. Mole Drifter. This is why I love looking at commander decks, because they are like time capsules of things, just things people like. Because like, it's not a terrible card. It's not terrible by any stretch. But in a 13,000 Maelstrom Wanderer deck, we cannot kid ourselves that, you know, like nobody who is building because they wanted the world's most optimal deck is dropping 5 mana draw 2 into the $13,000 Maelstrom Wanderer deck. This is a labor of love, and that is a good thing. I'm mocking it, but I'm mocking it lovingly. Put some respect on Moldrifter's name. It's top 2,000 Magic cards at least. I won't refute that. We're also talking about 32 creatures. It's in the top 2K? Great. Show me number 33. And then plop his ass in here. Mystic Stake. I saw one of these. So this... My friend, are you a Scaly? Because I see a couple totally... I see some snaky boys that are otherwise not particularly good. And again, that's not a big deal, because this deck is not meant to be like the world's most powerful deck. I love seeing that there was at one point cards where you just went, oh man, this is cool as shit, I gotta have it. And it can exist alongside Force of Will. And it's existing alongside like all of like Ancient Tomb, Breeding Pool, Dryad Arbor, maybe not High Market. That's just like, it's existing alongside OG duels, which is the hilarious part to me. And then Palinchron makes sense because if you hit that against Maelstrom Wanderer, you just blow everybody to hell. Phantasmal Image for sure. Phyrexian Metamorph. So my question, and maybe you can explain this, I do not see what is getting copied unless the goal is like maybe copy Craterhoof's Avengers. I mean, I guess there's good. I don't see like a combo with the copies, but I see plenty of stuff worth copying. Yeah, sure, Selvala, that works. Sad Robot. Never taken Sad Robot out of the precon. I heard a quote that the best power level in Commander is right at the edge of where Sad Robot stops being good, and I totally believe that. Oh, Squee the Immortal, I can fucking smell the food chain. Kusar, you can't edit the form you already submitted. If you fucking slapped me on Gmail right now, I'll read it before we roast yours tonight. Ooh, going from God's most useless 2-1 to Ulamog the Infinite Gyre warms my heart. Oh yeah, here's the food chain. Venser, Shaper, Savant, Vorinclex, Zealous Conscripts. This is another labor of love. Well, this looks like a labor of hatred to me. Because this just looks like you have one person who always plays a commander with no protection, and they always just lose their fucking mind if you steal their shit. Because again, bad card. Right, you spend 5 mana to get a 1-turn steal effect? Absolute garbage. Should not be in a list you built Optimi. Oh, it goes infinite with Kiki? Jesus. Never mind. Oh, do you choose untap that permanent? Oh, so you can make infinite Zealous Holy shit, never mind, I hate it. This is no longer a labor of love. You're a piece of shit, and you should feel bad. It's infinite 3/3s. Which, frankly, makes goddamn Mystic Snake and Muldrifter funnier. Frankly, the fact that the next shittiest thing is infinite 3/3s makes me return to Muldrifter with even more love. And then we have Cryptic Command, and then we have 3 counter spells. It's cute little guy, bad counter spell, get me when I kick you in the head. Tooth and Nail, sure. Mind's Desire. Oh, Storm, Mind's Desire. Yeah, that's tight. Birthing Pod, Lantern, ways to just poop mana. Mana Vault even. There's the Panharmonicon. Gotcha. Scroll Rack, Simmet Signet, Staff of Domination. I do wonder, that's probably just for Kiki Jiki. I didn't see anything else with a big tap effect. Aggravated Assault. So this is fucking beat him down. Defense of the Heart is really strong in this deck for sure. Mana Reflection makes sense. Oh, Selvala as well, yeah. All the untappers make sense for both Selvala and Kiki Jiki. Having a ton of untappers seems pretty strong. The World Spell. I mean, goddamn, if this deck does not just prove why Infect needs to exist, I don't know what does. I don't know what proves that if somebody sits down with an 8 mana commander, you need to put multiple hollow point rounds in their chest in Minecraft immediately. Nothing in this world does, because once this motherfucker comes in, this is why you Nature's Claim Soul Rings and Mana Crypts and Mana Vaults. I'm not gonna say the deck is unfair, or at least, you know, it's not busted, but in the context of a commander game, this is like, hey, this is what I talk about with green all the time. Once you count to 8, it's just chest kicking season and nothing else. It's just blown out rib cages. If you can make infinite mana with Staff of Domination, you can go infinite with Staff. Yeah, my bad. I forgot. If you go infinite with something else, that thing can also go infinite. That is a very strong point. It's unfair that he has so much money. I mean, 15 years of collecting, especially for things that got picked up before they increased in value over time, I would definitely believe it. 15 years ago, it was a different time to be picking up shit like Misty Rainforests, shit like Duels. Oops, Altark here could beat this. Shut up, Shuda. Go put more lands in your deck. Don't talk to me. Yeah. Culling Ritual and Pest Control would shit on this deck. Steel, I mean, I believe that if you hit it at the right time, like most decks you can blow out while they're ramping up. This deck seems like it ramps up pretty quick. This is the deck that proves why you should, though. Right? There's no amount of little beaning you could do to convince me not to take your Soul Ring out back and Old Yeller it. Especially if it's $900. Like, I'm just gonna fucking eat this thing. Because as soon as you cast this once, what the fuck are you gonna get, right? You're gonna get goddamn Kiki Jiki and Dockside, and then you're gonna cast him 18 more times. Although again, like, I know I've talked about it already. Why the fucking MaldDrifter in the middle of this shit? Fucking 5 mana draw too. In the middle of this, this must be a holdover from the days of Primal Surge 99 permanents. Quit hating on MaldDrifter. No, it's fine in 60 card. It's fine in some 60 card formats. Don't play MaldDrifter in Commander unless you are on some absolutely crazy shit. Oh my god, this is just so horrifying. At least you have a very respectable land count. This is a very responsible number of lands to have. And then just fucking stacks piece out of nowhere. I don't think you have enough instants or sorceries. Like, this is just a stacks piece. This has to be Labor of Hatred, because this is the one that prevents people from drawing multiple cards a turn. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, let's see. Is Narset... If Narset is non-creature, it's potentially... Okay, non-creature, non-land. So now we're up to... Okay, this makes sense. Now we're up to 21. Oh, even more. 29. Yeah, you can fetch a third of the deck. Never mind. Good pick. Good pick. It still makes me mad, because I love drawing cards. I love touching things. But this is fine. I'm just trying to imagine the whiplash that is present. That is present in somebody's mind when they see you play Draining Welk and then hit a fucking Dockside Extortionist Displacer Kitten Flicker combo. Because this is non-creatures. You're fucking flickering off of mana rocks. They're going fucking Dockside Displacer Kitten, Soul Ring, more Dockside, Mox Diamond, more Dockside, Maelstrom Wanderer, and to play Maelstrom Wanderer 8 fucking times. And they presumably have high market to sack a creature. Like, this is a goddamn super yacht. This is what that Prismatic Bridge deck is aspiring to be. And it's why we need Blood Moon. This is why we need stacks. These are the decks that you play stacks. Like, this is right at the power level where it's high enough that you need somebody trying to make this son of a bitch play by some rules. We need the Drannith Magistrate up in here. No. We need Aven Mind Sensor up in here. Or not even, it's Aven Interrupter, I think, is the new one. Why is this in Spanish? Holy crap. What a monstrosity this is. Ashiok? Yeah, Ashiok would be good too. This is a super yacht, and MaldDrifter is the janitorial staff. He got hired 20 years ago, and they just never fired him. Same goes for Mystic Stake. Like, if somebody does beat you with this deck, I feel like you just buy their car and drive off from the LGS. And who even cares that they won? Right? You got to show the thing off. I just built my first Team Year deck with loot from Thunder Junction. I'm liking it so far, but I definitely see why it's pretty powerful. Exalted Requiem. The creature counterspells are funny with Deadeye, though. That does make sense. You do have a lot of flicker, and the creature counterspells can be hilarious when you have 1,000,000 mana, and you are also the exact... You are the use case for the IRS existing. You are why the Federals need to be allowed to come in and stop things from tapping for mana. Like, you're why every stacks piece ever existed that has ever been played exists. Kiki Jiki makes them more viable too. Listen, it makes them more viable. I would play Tayam against this shit so fast. I would play Tayam against this immediately. I'm telling you right now. I'm gonna oof your ass. I'm gonna oof your ass instantly. We're gonna torpor orb. We're doing so many things. We're doing so many things to stop you. And the worst part is you probably still get around them. You probably still get around them. Alright, we're going to move on to Wois. This one looks like, oops, all infinites. Me and a buddy made this at 2 a.m. and can no longer understand how to actually play this anymore. Wizard time with Anala. Oh, that's not your fault. Nobody understands how to play Anala correctly. People are only pretending. I cannot play this deck to its full potential. Please help me for the love of Jesus Christ himself. Gotcha. So Anala is Eminence. Whenever another non-token wizard enters the battlefield under your control, if Anala Archmage Ritualist is in the command zone or on the battlefield, you may pay 1. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that wizard. The token gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of the next end step. Tap 5 untapped wizards you control. Target player loses 7 life. Was almost $7,000, but they restrained themselves to make it the funny number, and then they were entirely irresponsible with their fucking land count. Although this does appear to be a CEDH deck, and so that makes sense. So for those of you not familiar with Anala, Anala is one of the most complicated CEDH commanders I think that has ever been played, in terms of sequencing which wizards you copy, what order you play your wizards in. Looks to be all wizards, so Aether Channeler, Apheto Alchemist, Apprentice Necromancer, and they all have such wildly... Oh, they are tags. My bad, Wois. Alright, Flicker, Displace, Illusionist Stratagem, Shrieking Drake. Infinite turns... So Conjurer's Closet into... Oh, so I guess these are the things that just turn on infinite turns. Got it. 1 stacks piece. 1 fucking... Please don't hit me. 1 please don't hit me in a deck that is begging to get its lunch money taken. Yeah, alright. Utility, we got some modal creatures. Win cons. Why the fuck is Children the Apocalypse a win con? There's got to be Forced Draw. Molten Echoes. So this has got to be for wizards. Lab Maniac, Grape Shot, Thassa's Oracle. So we're trying to draw our deck. And then we have some more tutors. Bro, I cannot spell this card. Jesus Christ itself. Yes, Jesus. Famously known for being cut in half by the Romans and turned into 2 smaller Jesuses that perform just as many miracles. Funny haha. God, how I wish tutoring for an infinite turn combo could be labeled funny haha. Cost reducers. Good. At least you own up to it. At least there is no attempt at trying to label this any type of theme other than just Damn, it's good. More Jesus Christ itself another time. So these are copiers. WinCon enablers. Alright, so tapping, untapping. Demonic consultation makes sense. Tainted Pact. Unctus. My sweetie. Deadeye Navigator. Alright, so we have a lot of Flicker going on. We have Peregrine Drake, which makes sense. Yeah, Dockside, so Flicker Dockside, Flicker Peregrine Drake. Oh, Mana Echoes is crazy. I've seen this with Sliver decks before. I'm sure that this is standard tech for Anala, but I've not seen many Anala decks, so it is fun to experience. The most fucked up counterspells possible. 5 card draw spells and a Wheel of Fortune. Infinite somehow. Okay, everybody, let's buckle up and let's help this person. So by sacking this card, we can get something to the battlefield. It sacks at end step. For 1 mana, you can cast a creature from the graveyard. When you cast that card, it gains activated abilities of that card. Mirror Box. Sure. Ruthless Technomancer. You can sacrifice another creature to make treasures. You can bounce something. You can hide away on a creature to put something to hand. I can already see how this makes infinite headaches. I'm not positive how you win the game. I don't think you do it within this 6. I feel like with many other pieces in the deck, this works. No. Like maybe if you're flickering Technomancer or like you're bouncing around. Those need friends, but I know they do something. Yeah, like there has to be a using Apprentice Necromancer to get Peregrine back. Or there's some type of terrible human centipede combination between Apprentice Necromancer, Havenghoul Lich, Ruthless Technomancer, and then a thing that you want to recur over and over, like Peregrine Drake or Dockside Extortionist. My favorite part of this deck list is imagining you at the LGS getting some of these pieces on board and then going, help. Apprentice, Anala, Eminence, and Peregrine. Let's see. You sack it at end step. So, I mean, the Eminence helps. But they're also not a wizard. And I don't think Havenghoul Lich makes them a wizard. Please try. So for suggestions, please try. So we have a doubler, we have Panharmonicon, we have Rings of Brighthurst, we have Persist, Bloodline Necromancer. I mean, Bloodline makes sense. And then Teferi, Temporal Archmage. I mean, I would cut... I don't know about cut. Spellseeker has to work in here. If you're playing this at the CEDH level, Orcish Bowmasters is always good to punish other people that are trying to draw cards irresponsibly. Could use a treasure spawned with Techromancer to pay for the ability to copy it and sack the original Techromancer for more treasures. So he's only going to make 2... So if you play Techromancer, you sack, you get 2 treasures. And then you would need to pay 3 and sack 2. So you need to pay for the 3 mana somewhere else. Yeah, if you had Rings of Brighthearth, or if you had Peregrine, or if you had Dockside, or even if you had Mana Echoes. Yeah, I mean, this has to be CEDH. So the problem here is that I am an idiot. And I don't know CEDH too well, and I don't know the things that fix CEDH. I feel like Shrieking Drake is worse than your other flicker things. I feel like you have other better bounce or sack things. And I know that Spellseeker is too good to leave out of this party. Oh, actually, are you on enough cheap instants and sorceries? I mean, it could get you any of your... It would be kind of a long way, but it could get you any of your other tutors. Did I see Harmonic Prodigy? Yeah, I mean, if you get those... If you get anything with Harmonic Prodigy, then I'm assuming it's going to go crazy. If you have any type of Kindred list, and then you have a doubler for that Kindred, then sure, you get to poop in everybody's butt. Stonybrook Banneret, God, it's probably necessary given how low on lands you are. I super don't like it. Oh, I wish I was smarter. I also, Shieldred seems kind of like a meme. I don't see how Shieldred's a win con unless you have a way to make... You have to have a way in here to make somebody else draw cards, I guess. Do you have a way to copy Wheel of Fortune over and over and over? Do we not have any music in here? The soundtrack should be going. I'll turn it up a little. Wheel with Dualcaster. Personally, I do not think banking on I'm going to have Shieldred out and then double cast and then just copy Wheel of Fortune over and over is consistent enough. Wheel, Dualcaster, Son, half Shieldred. So that's 4 steps. Which, if we're talking CEDH, I feel like they are running Bowmasters, but Bowmasters is also a good response just for other people drawing cards at instant speed. There's an infinite with Conjurer's Closet, Archaeomancer, Capture of Jingzhou. I mean, that's fine. Bowmaster's Wheel is pretty good too. I just think that Inala wants to turbo so much that I think if you legitimately want to make the deck better, you should have more things that will tutor for or support your turbo win con. And so finding something to cut for Spellseeker is probably necessary. Will Edgelord, turbo just means that you're typically trying to win first. Like, you're trying to be turn 1, turn 2, turn 3. You are trying to get a lot of mana into play through things like Mana Crypt, Dark Ritual. Oh god, do we not have Mana Crypt? Yeah, my brother in Christ, where the fuck is your Mana Crypt? Right now. Bottom left. I mean, there's ETB. There's Rings of Brighthearth, Panharmonicon. I also... I don't know if... No, Panharmonicon probably does work here. I think Teferi's definitely too slow. I think Teferi is definitely too slow for what this deck is trying to do. Draw, discard. Yeah, this is like CEDH, but it has like a little sewing needle right in its nuts so that it can't really operate. This deck does... You need 5 more lands at least? Lies. Lies. You do not need... You may need maybe 1 more land, but that's it. You don't need more lands. You need to commit. You need to commit to cheating mana. Propaganda, also, get the fuck out of here. If somebody can punch you for 40 damage before you can figure out how to combo and like read your own Excel spreadsheet for how to resolve the Inala combo, you deserve to die. No propaganda. No fear. No fear. Guts over glory. You let them punch you and you encourage it. Yeah, and then I think Shrieking Drake is, yeah, I think Shrieking Drake gotta go. Just because it's worse, like, bouncing to hand, I think, is worse than bounce return to field. Decks like this is what computers were invented for. Dude, this deck would kill Deep Blue. If you put the IBM chess supercomputer up against this thing, it is overheating and melting into a fucking pile. Thassa's Oracle feels out of place. I don't think that's true when, like, I don't think there's any Grixis deck that wants to play, that doesn't want to have emergency Thassa's Console. I'm melting into a pile trying to pilot it. We need to get you, like, a workflow diagram. We need to get you a workflow diagram for how you win with this deck. Because Inala's hard. Inala's even harder than Gitrog, which is pretty fucking complicated. But I would definitely... So knowing very little about the... like the inner workings of the Inala CEDH lists, I would say get rid of propaganda. Because if they can kill you this fast, you're fine with it. Get rid of Shrieking Drake because you'd rather just have things going out than in. I don't think Sheoldred is... I firmly do not believe Sheoldred is good enough unless you have more than one way to force people to draw cards. So we're going to move on to Homemade Calamity. Oh, you're at F&M waiting? Well, it's your time, my friend. Deck yourself any % speed run, many cheap guys to commander someone out. Yes, make fixes. $110. We've gone from the heights. The last 2 decks combined, $20,000 together. This deck, $100, 34 lands, no tags. This was built behind a fucking Wendy's. I'm sure it will still be good. Alright, so we're going for... God, Rafine, the big booty Sphinx. Andrew Stott, these deck lists are gotten from my patrons. If you sign up for the $25 Patreon tier, which can be linked from Twitch chat using the command !roast, you can sign up and get your deck roasted. Our collective wallets breathe easy, not our buttholes. So let's see what type of... Alright, we have Recursion, sure. Oh god, fucking token makers? I guess so you can swing more for Connive. Smothering Tithe, gotta be third of the deck's budget almost. Like a... No, so a quarter. A quarter of the deck's budget. That's funny. That's a pretty funny card to hit somebody with. What the hell is this for? Unless you're flickering a ton? What the hell are we doing with... Is the theme stuff I found in the Wendy's dumpster? Alright, draw a card. Draw a card. And then graveyard, sure. Alright, first strike. What the fuck is this guy? Straight from behind the McDonald's fryer, the Axgard Braggart. 4 mana, so not a little guy. Not somebody you can play early. Has Boast 2 mana to untap him and put a counter on. It's vigilance, but bad. No notable synergy with Rafine other than it is possible for it to swing. Boffman, thank you for the $5 tip. Welcome to Dog Heaven, and thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome to the Dog Home. It untaps, but it needs to. Yeah, me when I could pick anything with vigilance. Hold on. Right there. This bitch. This asshole. You could have a good boy. You could have a good boy. If you don't want if you still need to source everything from the bulk box at your local LGS, you can break in at night and get yourself a good boy. Fencer? Sure. Sure, hey. Hey, I played Standard right when this card came out. Celestial Regulator. I mean, a flyer makes sense. And I guess tapping... No, I'll allow this. This is actually the perfect thing of horrible card that is made playable by your commander because it flies, so you can probably swing it over things, and your commander will definitely have counters. So you can actually get the two turns of it not untapping. You're real for that. What the hell? What the hell, man? Dude. Alright, Drider. This is not overcosted at all. A 5 mana 4/3. This is, hey, power creep in action. When Elder... This is the fairest Magic deck I've ever seen. I don't think you have any flicker. There's nothing here. There's just... fuck it. Discard a card. Fuck it. Fuck you. Hey, we're back to synergy. We're back to some synergies, because you're going to be drawing your second card each turn a lot. Bro, why? Just because also connive? just because it's me when it shares a word with my commander's text box. Also connives. This is another banger from behind the McDonald's deep fryer. Okay, this was clearly built at least partially from a Streets of New Capenna booster box at this point. Yeah, a 3 mana 1/2 flyer with Death Touch? Yo, power creep who? Power creep who? Honestly, I'll respect this one because your graveyard's gonna be full. Sure, your graveyard's gonna be full. I mean, okay. I guess, I'll give it to you for lifelink because you could make it connive instead of your commander and then have a fat lifelinker. I'll give it to you. Sure, graveyard's gonna be fat. What the hell? What the absolute fuck? We can only put in so many things just because they also have connive on them. Here's our first just straight banger. And then the Sheoldred that's less good in this deck. It's still good because your graveyard's going to be full. What the hell is this doing here? Is this guy lost? We've been getting all the hits from the McDonald's deep fryer. This is from like an Arby's manager's desk drawer. Because where the fuck are we gaining our life from? Where are we gaining the life from? Is this, do we have better Sheoldred in here? Flying, okay, a second life linker. No. I refuse to let you cook. I'm taking your pots and pans away with Speak Easy server. It's only $100, remember? No. No, there is so much we could do with $110 that is not the goddamn Silver Smoke Ghoul. Splicer of the Fens. A 4-mana flyer. Be so for real, you drafted this deck. Be so for real, this was a commander draft event. Spiteful Squad. A 4-mana 2/2 Death Toucher. I'll give you Death Toucher that you can put. I will put this in the category of bad card made good by your commander because you could put all the counters on them, and then even if they die, you get to keep them. So you're real for that one. No, man. Your graveyard payoff can't be I have a 5/5. It can't be me when I have a 4-mana 5/5. Myriad. Yeah, I think this adds to your attackers for your commander. That's real. Big lifelinking flyer. Sure. I will almost give you that. It's still bad, but it's like within budget. This is okay. I'm gonna get a big flyer, and me when I kick you in the head over and over. No. No, we can't be doing this. We can't be doing this. Unforgiving one, this works. You've made a good call for your commander, and you can recur a lot of things that you normally wouldn't be able to because of your commander. I believe this one too, because you want to get your things to be flyers. Valor, seeing more, the more I see of this deck, the more unforgivable Valor of the Worthy is. Crush Descent. My eyes are gonna start bleeding. A 4-mana conditional counterspell that makes a 2/2. What the fuck are we talking about? What? This is a real race to the bottom. A 4-mana exile. A 4-mana bad counterspell. And then Void Rend. And then a good... You snuck a good one in. What the hell? Sure, depopulate. Alright. I mean, it's exile instead of destroy, so this is like... This is probably the most permanent removal you could get. Addle's funny. This seems like a called shot against somebody else in your pod who plays monocolor, and you're just like, fuck you, get him. Yeah, decks made when I'm looking through the bulk box and the LGS owner looks away and I just pour it into a fucking knapsack. Valor of the Worthy just for the Kaldheim quota. Yeah, this is like... Ooh, I'm gonna make a Rathine deck. Ooh, Smothering Tithe is good. I need to make this a 3 somehow. Here's everything else. This is all... That seems like a trauma response. For you to have Geode Golem when you have a 3-mana commander, somebody's hurt you. Or I hope somebody's hurting you. This is fucking... This is like... Pokemon's first gym leader type deck. Where somebody who's never played Magic before is going to be like, wow, there are some synergies present. And then once you start learning what actual synergies are, you come back and you're like, maybe Onyx isn't the best Pokemon ever created. And that's how I feel about Speakeasy Server. Speakeasy Server is the Onyx of this deck. At least Brock was difficult. Don't tell on yourself, Jam. No, he wasn't. Ecologist's Terrarium. Letter of Acceptance. Well, I guess... Okay. In 3 colors, I will allow you mana... And then fucking Shorakai! We've got like 5 bangers and then just cards that were thrown at you from across the LGS. We've got like 5 absolute bangers. No. Shorakai's good. That's what I'm saying, is we have these flashes of inspiration and then it's just a bunch of cards that were just fucking like flicked at you from draft boosters. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Seek help. Kusar, you are up next. Naya Angels, this deck wants to ramp hard enough to be able to simultaneously Gaslight, Gatekeep, and Girl Boss. Gaslight your opponents by drawing more cards than them. Every turn, despite the fact that you lack blue. Gatekeep their board by packing 8 board wipes in a 15-card removal suite. Girl Boss by oppressing your opponents with the power of large women CEOs. I don't think you know what any of those words mean. Rocco wins you the game by fetching combo pieces after you draw one of your 5, or by pumping the board with Ronas or a Chroma. Rocco's recipes. Aurelia the War Leader plus Riona. Shalayan Halar plus Heliod. Shalayan Halar plus Archangel of Thune. Alright, so we've got a fake 7, boys and girls. We have a fake 7 on the table. Gatekeep, 20 cards. Holy, yeah, Naya Angels, by the way, here are the 3 combos that win the game. Big Girl Steroids, I like this. Yeah, double power, Chroma's Will, double strike. That's crazy. Alright, so we have one of the most hateful removal packages I've ever seen. This is absolutely not what gaslighting is. Gaslighting is pretending you're not doing bullshit. Not sticking all your bullshit in everybody's face. Kusar, do you think gaslighting is creating a gas leak and then lighting it? Is that your interpretation of what gaslighting is? Because that's what it looks like to me right now. Is it this is not gaslighting. This is a fucking gas leak. Girl boss, sure. All mommies, all gonna hit hard. Roaming throne, we'll give it a mommy. No, it's I'm a little bean. Who has ever watched you play Enlightened Tutor and let you little bean them? Those people need to go to the hospital because there was a carbon monoxide leak in their home. If anybody has ever watched you stick the law above and gone, oh wow, they're really having a hard game, I'm gonna back off. Or trouble in pairs. Or tribute, like every single card, if you stuck this against me, it would activate my prey drive. It would not be, never said that worked. There we go. Secret ingredients. Ah, yes, me when I infinite. Riona's kind of funny. So this is just if you cast one instant and sorcery and have Aurelia, game's over. Because you just keep making new combats and one new token copy of Aurelia every time. Don't even need one. Oh, it's 1+. Jesus God. So just Riona and Aurelia. And then Heliod Suncrowned. Oh my God. So if you just get lifelink onto Aurelia and Heliod... Oh, Jesus. Forest Winder? Sure, you deserve that land. Spiteful Banditry. I love that yet another board wipe was hiding in the ramp. Yeah, I mean, your ramp is good. Better than it deserves to be. Legalized land destruction. You're really low on lands, but Rocco's cheating stuff out. You have you have 19 cards that are helping you ramp, so like half the deck is helping your mana base. So I buy that. Titanic Ultimatum. I would respect dying to this. You might want to add this in just to take a little bit of the heat off you, because every other way you win is going to make my eyeballs twitch till they fall out. This one, you got it, though. I let you count to 7. I let you get creatures. Kill me. Trample me, daddy. Shalian Halar plus Archangel of Thune. Let me look at that combo. Whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. I am confused by how that combos off. Because Thune will gain life. You'll put a counter on everything. You'll deal basically damage equal to creatures. Oh, you need a lifelink on Shalian Halar. True. Okay, yeah. So then once you have Heliod and you put it on Shalian Halar, then yeah, just you ping over and over till everybody explodes. I got that. Shalian Halar plus Heliod. Yeah, that makes sense somewhere. Shalian Halar plus all will be 1 is infinite. Yeah, if you wanted to make the deck harder, I guess Kusar, let's specify the critiques a little bit. Do you want to make this deck? So central focus of the deck is to play a Naya Angels deck. Do you believe that Okay. So you want to play a Naya Angels deck. Elemental Bond is good here. I would personally cut some of these combo pieces. I don't think that Naya Angels needs infinite combats to work when you have access to green. I think Boros Angels, like I think Aurelia the War Leader, might quote unquote need the help because they have so much trouble getting card and creature advantage. If I was going to commit to the bit of it being a Naya Angels deck, I would consider other Rocco. Yeah, the Street Chegg. Because then you're putting counters on your creatures. You're getting food tokens. This you can gaslight. Because this is Group Hug. This one you can actually gaslight a little bit. The other version, you're just like... You're trying to kick people in the dong at moderate speed. And quite frankly, if you put a tutor in the command zone, you're painting a target on your back. So if you want these titles to be accurate, I would recommend switching to the other Rocco. And you could even keep the tutors if you switch to the other Rocco. And then I would cut the things that are infinites and put in, like, damage doublers. Or put in, Titanic Ultimatum. You always need one infinite so you can end a game. I don't think that you need an infinite. You need win cons for sure, but I don't know that it always needs to be an infinite. And if you want to have one infinite, then I would just say all will be one, Shalai and Halar. Yeah, because I wouldn't put in more lands. I think if you currently feel like you're getting away with this land base, you can still get away with 32 because you have so much other tax fraud. Like, you could keep Helm of the Host. Used to run 36. You could even do like aggravated assault. So if you really start cheating mana, then you can just me when I kick everybody in the head over and over and over and over. Hey Sean, thank you for coming by the stream. So first and foremost, this is disgusting. Second of all, if you want it to be Gaslight, Gatekeep, Girl Boss, I would take the tutor out of the command zone. Bywolf Energy, I got a tornado touching down, so I have to bounce. Well, Bywolf, stay safe. I will send you the video. If you have not bounced yet, let me know if you just want this to be pushed to Tuesday. Otherwise, I'm going to keep going, and I will send you the video after we get the roast. Alright, next up, we are going to Eli Helman's deck. This tax-evading, land-based, fraudulent real estate scheme of a deck seeks to cheat with lands and cause massive economic damage with Vile Smasher's ability. Glint Eye lands and big mana. Chaos Group Slug Ramp Tron. Real estate mogul. Buys fake lands. Damages economy. Alright, Ugity Wuggy. Then as long as you'll be here, that's good enough. Kaidel, Chosen of Krifix, and Vile Smasher the Fierce. Horrifying. So we're going to fart mana, and then we're going to cast, I guess, really, really big spells. Black Rock Executives. I hate you for playing Karn. Oh my god! I pray, for your sake, that you do not have Proliferate in this deck, because if you do, I'm gonna get you. Coma's also horrible. 3 snakes on every upkeep is not right. I'm sick and tired of these motherfucking snakes on my motherfucking commander decks. 40 lands. I guess they said they're a land deck. And then Ulamog. Sure, you cast this for 1,000,000. Vile Smasher kills people. I'm not sure how Silumgar's is a bailout. Maybe it's like maybe it's after you've cheated a ton of mana into play, you bounce Vile Smasher to replay it to get the cast trigger again. I could see Sublime Epiphany doing the same. Big draws. Villainous Wealth is funny. That's buying. Jesus, you're gonna. Oh god, when you make mana, I'm gonna hate you so much. Okay, $1,000 worth of lands. Mana rocks. Play mana from grave. Oh no, play an additional land. God damn, there's a lot of returning lands to the battlefield, and I feel like there's more returning than there are ways to sacrifice them. Never mind, Windgrace is here. Never mind, Windgrace is here to discard our lands. And then sack lands. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. You are my greatest enemy. I thought I was gonna like this. I thought this was gonna be, hey, let's touch a lot of cards and then deal a lot of damage. Aren't game actions funny? This is actually, I'm going to play 15 lands in one turn, draw my entire deck, and you're going to die from entering a fucking coma, and then I'm going to leave a note at your funeral that just says, you took 38 damage. Of course we've got Mana Reflection in here. Dude, if Evolution Sage was in this deck, I would just get up and leave. If it was in this deck, just to proliferate to Karn Liberated, honestly, one direction you would go that would make me laugh is if this was just the deck meant to ult Karn Liberated and then like go to Arby's. Is there a... Oh, Jesus, you're in Gitrog colors. God damn it, he's here. God damn it. Then another Kozilek. Underrealm Lich. Comet Storm. If we had the only thing stopping this deck from being self-harm in terms of how many brain cells it would need to use every turn is Provisioner and Tracker, and then like an Academy Manufacturer. Like as soon as you introduced, I'm assuming it's for your own well-being that Scute Swarm is not in this deck. This is the type of deck that would give you carpal tunnel syndrome just for fucking resolving fetch lands. Like, I hope, whoever plays this deck, I hope that you have tiny fucking hands. So that every time you have to shuffle it for all of this bullshit, I hope it hurts. I hope your fingers pop as you try to reach around the rapidly declining numbers of cards as you fetch land into fucking Harrow, into fucking Farseek. This is why we ban ramp. This goddamn deck right here. So let's talk about adherence to theme. Because they have asked for yes. So if you want to, if your out is, I want to use Vile Smasher, the Fierce's ability, to kill people. I would say Displacer Kitten deserves to be in the deck. Not as part of an infinite, but when you list bailouts, you have some things that can bounce. You have some things that can bounce. We're not even talking about like, oh, I don't want to include that because it's too powerful, because this deck is fucked up. You're already a monster for playing this deck, and so since we've jumped that shark, let's not worry about, oh, I don't want to play that card, because you've got Torment of Hailfire, Weird Karn, and 40 lands with all these fucking landfall triggers. Let's form up. Let's see, you have 9, 20 non-creature, non-land, 20, 26, 31, 32. Yeah, so it looks like you have 32 ways to potentially trigger a Displacer Kitten. I would dump Silumgar's command right now. I would also, I don't think Kaidel matters. I think you've got card draw mommy. Is there any interaction in this deck? No, this deck is the problem. This deck is here to be interacted with. So first spell each turn. So if you had a lot of sorceries, we could do something like, we could do something with like Veyron to double triggers, but we don't want to do that. So we probably want to construct additional Vile Smashers. You do have Spark Double. There's, I don't think Orvar's good here. I think Sakashima also Progenitor Mimic. This won't get us around the legendary rule. We would have to move over to like Mirror Box plus a ton of tutors for Mirror Box, which we have the colors to do. But I don't know that we can commit hard. This also reads to me, this seems like a table that is just bereft of actual interaction, because this deck is like, this deck is like Donald Trump levels of greed in terms of, it looks like its plan is to just play lands and ramp forever and then start doing things once it can spend 10 or more mana on everything it does, which works at certain tables. I would also, even though I want every deck to be a perfect little snowflake, I would recommend almost every deck play Descent into Avernus, both to give you more treasures to work with and to get these life totals down. Like, you definitely want to be moving the chains on these life totals. And you look like you need 1,000,000 mana for everything you want to do. I'd put Displacer Kitten in right away. I don't know about the other weaker flicker spells. Kozilek is just in here to be rude as fuck, which I respect, so keep on doing that. Then why do we have these? This is a meme, but it's a meme you can keep. Cozy is there for the frog combo. That makes sense. Yeah, like you definitely you benefit from a lot of this stuff. I would I'll tell you what. I think this whole BlackRock executive section should be I think it should be different. I think these 5 cards these read like just other than Spark Double. I think you keep Spark Double. The rest of these read like random good stuff. And they're labeled BlackRock executives because of this. The cards I would tag BlackRock executives in this deck are literally the most expensive cards I could find. I don't think World Spine Worm is going to be an example of this. It's 11, which is okay, but it's not. So we're working in everything but white. So mana value greater than or equal to 10. Blink Moth Infusion. That's an executive. Blood for the Blood God. That's a BlackRock executive. Dead Drop definitely works. Draco. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, you put Draco in. You probably put Promised End in. You put Earthquake Dragon in. These are your executives. Not Primal Hunger. That's an executive. Not these, like, you know, not 7 mana. We don't care about 7 mana. We want the really big stuff. We want Nyxborn Behemoth. This is a deck I would say Blightsteel Titan is not a bad shout, just to make sure that the game does end at some point. Ulamog is 10, so that's enough. But I would cut Ugin, I would cut Karn Liberated, I would even cut Coma. I would get rid of... Let's see. I don't think Silumgar's command is good enough unless you have a couple Planeswalker players that you really, truly, deeply hate. You're only saying cut Karn because you hate him? Yes, and you all should hate him too. You're paying for lessons, and that lesson is fuck Karn. And then, if you wanted to really get into it, I would maybe cut 1 or 2 lands or like 1 or 2 tax fraud spells to get either more copies in, or when you cut these BlackRock executives, more Vial Smasher. And then I would just make a little room on these like landfall combos to make more room for Vial Smasher hurls a bag of flaming dog poop at your face. No Legs Bunny, thank you so much. I'm glad you enjoy all my videos. So let's move on to the final deck of the night, Ugity Wuggities. Sponsored by Buy Wolf Energy and the Fix Ugity Please Foundation. If there's one thing I hate, it's getting hit with a copy of Worst Fears every goddamn turn. If there's two things I hate, it's that and puppets. I see you, I respect you, I also hate puppets. Magar of the Madness, Magic Strings, sure, funny guy. Aggro, Anger, so give stuff haste. Berserker's Onslaught, Double Strike. Castle Embereth, sure. Ferocity of the Wilds, Trample, sure. Well, let's look at budget. We're working with $300 for if that's the realm that we are working inside of. Double strike shit is great. Extra combats, and especially if it's a sorcery, is great. Ambitious Experiment that probably works for you. Crypt Breaker. We got to be making a lot of zombies, huh? I see Zombie Infestation. Invoke Despair, yeah, that's fucked up. Funeral Rites. Palantir. Put this in every deck. Every deck you want to make better can have a Palantir of Orthanc. Thrill of Possibility seems fine. I'm certain nothing fucked up is happening with all these copiers. 8 tutors? Probably fine. Probably nothing wrong with 8 tutors in a Magar of the Magic Strings deck. Decent amount of evasion, decent amount of ramp. Lots of interaction. That's hilarious to label mommy interaction. I mean, I guess the -3. Yeah, the -3 works as removal. More removal. These two read as somebody at my table plays indestructible creatures. Fire Covenant's fun. Okay, so we are milling the fuck out of ourselves. Creature? Question mark. Army? Gotcha. Understood. I hate you. Oh my god. Oh Jesus. I play the mommies as discard. Real? Yeah, you do wanna be discarding things. Worst Fears. You control target player during that player's next turn. Exile Worst Fears. So now the +1, now the banners make more sense because it looks like your out is zombies. So let's do this. We're not going to make this deck better. We're going to make you worse. Now that Buy Wolf Energy, we're not going to fix you. We're going to make Buy Wolf Energy hate you forever and ever. Are you ready? This is the new pillar of your Magar the Magic Strings deck. This is the new pillar. Your hand is now whatever the fuck I say it is. You want that to be 5 basics? It's 5 basics. If they're land screwed and you want it to be the 7 most expensive cards in their deck, that's what it is now. They're being coy about their win cons and you just want to look through their whole fucking deck. You got them. I saw this in a Magar deck once, and I've looked for an excuse to put it in every deck I play since. So you gotta get head games in here. I can see Glamdring making sense. I feel like I feel like Flame Painter is kind of a non-bow with Magar. I think you would be better off with another way to get Magar through, or another way to make protect Magar. And probably at least one more way to make more stuff unblockable. I guess sure with all these mana things. She's an alternative to Magar if he gets killed too much. That's fair enough. I imagine you probably catch a lot of rounds straight to the chest. There does have to be... There's nothing? Oh, it's... Okay, it's ands. So we don't want it to be ands. I guess we'll do enchantment. Oh, I didn't even look for double strike. So I'd put Blood Mist on for sure. You already got the other one, but I would say Blood Mist, just so that when you do start getting the Magar stuff going, you have a third way. Like, the most important time to put more copies of an effect in your deck is when you only have single-digit numbers of them. You do have 8 tutors, which is basically also these effects. But you probably have a lot of other things you need to be tutoring for. Worst Fears is also just such a fucked up card. I don't think Wake the Dragon's good enough. Where's Blood for the Blood God? Yeah, like this has to be fittable in this deck. I mean, it's $5, which I get is a lot, but again, working at 300, I think 6/6 flyer on damage not as good as 8 to everybody, dump more stuff for Magar, draw 8. Life's Finale. What's that? That's so fucking mean. That's fucking mean. I wouldn't put this in either. Unless you... I would slot this in if your table has like a combo player. If your table has a combo player, put this in just to hurt them. They do deserve it. This honestly might be a little overcosted. I mean, Fevered Suspicion I get is like a it's like a Tali on damage. Let's do one check for maybe Sorcery. Sorceries are typically stronger. Greater than or equal to 6, not 67. I think Apex of Power, you probably non-bow yourself. Oh, Oh, Behold the Beyond is probably good as hell. I don't think Captive Audience should go in this deck. This is probably... Boneyard Parlay is probably good. Personally, I love stealing. I love taking things. I think Brass's Bounty is probably also worth it. Over something like... You got a lot of one-sided board wipes, dog. I would probably say maybe cut like one piece of removal, or cut like Ferocity of the Wilds is bad. No, you can't pay for X cost with Magar. So it does depend on how strong you want to be. If you want to be a dick, call forth the Tempest. Because then you're free casting, like, let me frame it to you this way. Call forth the Tempest. You are sweeping, getting 2 additional spells into your grave, and almost anything you are cascading into is going to be fucked up for everybody. So I would cut at least... All Is Dust does work with your thing, but I would cut something. There's... Call of the Tempest absolutely works in this deck. What about Elemental Eruption? It could work. It's certainly not bad. We don't really want to recur our own creature graveyard. Personally, big lover of Dance with Calamity. Shelf your library, play Blackjack. You would have to be pretty conservative because your deck is all big CMCs, so I'm not going to say that's like a definite include. But Elemental Eruption, certainly not a bad card for this deck if you get it. Yeah, if you ever get... God, fuck. If you want to beat people down, this would be better than zombies. This is better. This is a better version of doing Army of the Damned, probably. Unless your table is just like so up on board wipes. So in terms of other cuts, you could probably skip... I don't think Crypt Breaker is good enough. Rix Madi, it's, you know, it's a land, so sure. But even then, I don't think it's that good. I think Zombie Infestation, I think you're memeing. I think this is just also zombies, and you do not have any other zombie-specific synergies. I also think Sedgemoor Witch is kind of a joke here. Yeah, like I think honestly everything under tokens, I think you are pranking yourself, and you should instead... It is a discard outlet. We have other ways to wheel and discard. I don't think we're so hard up for discard that we can't do this. But regardless, I would say Trading Post, Sedgemoor Witch, Crypt Breaker, out of here. If you want to make the deck feel more fair, I would cut Tutors for more of these big, funny sorceries. But you don't have to. If you want to make the deck better, all the Tutors is fine. And then probably something like if you just want to replace them for more discard outlets, like big score, right? There's 3 zombie infestation. No, okay, you guys. So when you tag things, if things are tagged multiple times, they will appear multiple times in the deck, even if there's only 1 copy of it. So if we go to enchantments, there's only 1 copy. But then if we go to if we sort it by tag, they've tagged it with 3 different things, and so it shows up under each tag. So if we take it out of tokens, it'll come out of everything else. So yeah, this may disappoint Bywolf Energy, but I would make this deck worse. Head games is by far the most important thing you're going to put in, but then I would put in Call Forth the Tempest, and I would put in, if you want to be silly, Dance with Calamity, and if you wanna fuck people up, oh, honestly, Din of the Fire Herd. It's only target opponent, so it would feel a little mean. But if you really want to be the arch enemy, Den of the Fire Herd. So that is going to be it for this deck and it for this stream. I will be live again Monday doing some MTG Arena drafting. Thank you very much to all of my Patreon subscribers for supporting me and providing me their decks to make fun of. I hope you all had a good week. I hope the roasties enjoyed today. And remember to stay toxic, everybody.